guys, I'm back with another video. I was actually already filming 2 videos earlier today. Wow, this camera's too close to my face. There we go. I was actually already filming videos earlier today and I forgot that I was supposed to film my Q&A. So we're back today and I should have waited till now to film because the sun is out and I don't have to use my desk lamp to make me not look super dark. Anyways, let's go ahead and jump into this. I made an announcement video almost a month ago that I reached 200 subscribers and I thought to celebrate I would do a Q&A because I've always wanted to do a Q&A and I was like, but I don't have enough subscribers or enough people that interact with me that will want to ask questions. But since coming back to BookTube and actually like being part of the community instead of just posting videos and like actually interacting with people, I got some questions that I'm super excited to answer. These questions could be anything about books, school, my personal life, you know, within reason. So I have some in the comment section. I also got tweeted some last night. So let's go ahead and jump into this. Question number 1 is from me to you, video, photography, and book reviews. I have my laptop in my lap, that's why I look down, just so you know. And her question was, if you could go on a date with one fictional character, who would you go with and why? Personally, so my answer to this question would be Jem Carstairs from The Infernal Devices by Cassandra Clare. I love Jem. He kind of embodies what I would look for in a guy. He's just sweet, he's a gentleman, he's a musician, and he just like really cares about his friends, and that is just something I really look for because that's kind of similar to me. Jem's my baby. The next question is from, I'm gonna butcher this and I am so sorry. I'm so sorry. Did I say you could jump in my lap? Sorry for that rude cat interruption. Origraphy. I hope I said that right. Probably didn't. I'm really sorry if I butchered your channel name. Question is, have you ever wanted to taste a food or a drink from a book? If so, what book was it and what was the plateful? I probably have to go with the Ambrosia from the Percy Jackson series, even though, you know, the nectar of the gods can like burn you to death, but I'd want to try it because, you know, they always say it tastes like something that like you would want to. Next, I have 2 questions from Shelby over at Read to Find Out, and the first question is, what books would you say convey you as a person? Fangirl by Rambo Rowell is literally me. Like, it's crazy like how kind of accurate it is. I mean, not the romance aspect because let's face it, I'm gonna die alone with my cat, but the fact that she's like a creative writing major and like going into college and like being in upper level classes and stuff and like trying to fit in with college while being like away from home. And I am Kath, Kath is me, we are the same person. I think the other one I would have to say is Wonderlost by Jen Malone. I talk about this book all the time because I love it so much. Just the traveling aspect and our main character, I think her name's Aubrey, just kind of learning to like find herself as she's on this adventure throughout Europe. And I personally really experienced that while I studied abroad in Spain last spring, just like kind of finding myself and like, you know, wanting to like travel. And like the ending of like Wonderlost where she goes off on her own adventure after coming home by herself is just like me now. I'm like, I want to travel, I want to see the world, I know who I am. And the other question is, what do you do for work or what do you study? I am currently a junior in college right now. I'm supposed to graduate next spring. I hope I make it. I am currently a creative writing major with a minor in history. I basically, for my history degree, I can like choose any freaking classes I want. As long as they're like an upper level class and I pass, I can just literally take whatever I want. So I've been taking a lot of women's history classes because it's so fascinating. And yeah, creative writing. I kind of want to focus into fantasy and maybe middle grade. The manuscript I'm working on right now for a class is actually a middle grade fantasy novel. So yeah, for my work, I am currently, you know, a broke college student, so I work at my local Olive Garden. And I don't know why all you guys love the breadsticks. They're gross after they're not warm, just saying. This is from somebody who eats breadsticks like every fucking day. And the last comment for YouTube I have from Cass over at Cats and Camera. Number 1 is, what are some of your favorite books that you don't talk about enough on BookTube? Oh, a lot of the books I really like are actually like super overhyped and popular books anyways because I'm just overhyped trash. Or I really like Wonderlost, which I've currently kind of started talking about again. Travel, like contemporary with travel in Europe is just the best thing ever. Entwined by Heather Dixon. It's kind of fantasy because there's like magic in it. It's a retelling of the 12 Dancing Princesses. I loved it. I love the writing. I love the world. Like, everybody should read it because it's amazing, and I don't know why not people like haven't read it. Verse. Ellen Hopkins' work, she writes in verse, and I actually have one of her books with me right now. So they're all like pretty chunky books, but again, they're like written in verse, so they're like super easy to get through. I've actually read this one. I've read quite a few of her books. The one thing I do want to mention though, and like I love it, but they're very impactful because these books come with trigger warnings. The first series that she's really well known for, the Crank trilogy, is about drug abuse, and it's based off the real life story of her daughter who is addicted to crank, which I think is cocaine or meth or something like that. This one deals with 3 different characters who are in a psychiatric hospital. They all are dealing with different things, and it's very emotional. All of her books are very emotional and impactful, and I just really enjoy that she writes about it and it's actually out there, because a lot of these type of topics, you know, they're taboo topics and people don't talk about them, but I'm like, this is stuff that needs to be talked about, and I really enjoy that, and we love this. And like, I think probably one of my favorite ones by her is called Identical, and it's about these 2 twins after a very horrific car accident, and it's so good, and like, it's twisted and it's dark and it's so good. And the last one I want to talk about it's been a while, and that's going to be the Found series by Margaret Peterson Haddix. I had a lot of friends in middle school who were like super into her, but she read her Among the Hidden series, which was interesting. I never read it because I was like, I don't want to read that. But I've read the first 3 books, I believe, in the Missing series, and this has a super awesome premise and I love it so much. And basically 16 years ago, because I think our main character is like 15 or 16, 15, 16 years ago, this plane full of babies just like showed up at an airport out of nowhere. These kids went into adoption, and then all of a sudden, you know, 15, 16 years later, they're invited to this event for all of these adopted children, and we follow Chip, and which I think Chip is the best friend, and then I can't remember the main character's name, and I can't remember her sister's name, but our main character and Chip are 2 of the children from the plane, and they're invited to this thing, so all the families go. The kids get like taken off to this like one place, and shit goes down, and we follow. I'm like, want to say something, but I feel like it's kind of a spoiler for the entire series from the first book. Basically, after that, every book follows a character or 2 and their adventures, and it's just like really cool, and I love the whole concept because I feel Margaret had to do a lot of research for this, and I'm super excited to jump back in and to see what I thought. Although they did recently do a cover change, and I'm super pissed because like I have the first 3 books in the nice like hardback no dust jacket edition, which is beautiful, but now they've moved to just jackets with a more like spacey futuristic cover, and they're so ugly and I hate them. But yeah, so that one's middle grade for sure. The next question she asked is some of my favorite bands or artists. Well, I love music. I listen to music all the time when I'm doing anything. Like, I love music. Personally, my preferences range toward alternative, indie, more so pop punk, because I am pop punk's trash. And it's okay if you don't know what genre that is. It's fine. Just kind of think like Warped Tour, because like a lot of like punk bands. Anyways, my all-time favorite band for like anything would definitely have to be The Maine. If you have not listened to The Maine, do yourself a favor and go listen to their music. Personally, my favorite album by theirs is Pioneer. It's an older album. Their most recent album is Lovely Little Lonely, which there's some pretty good tunes on there too. It's more poppy than their other music, and like if you want to get in your feels, go listen to Forever Halloween, because that's some dark shit there. I also really love Fall Out Boy. I've been a Fall Out Boy fan for like ever. I prefer their older stuff to their newer stuff. Really was not a fan of their album American Beauty, American Psycho. I definitely enjoy Mania though. Like, Wilson and Church are my shit. I really like the Technicolors. Their band I found through The Maine because they toured together. They've got a very interesting feel. Like, I don't know. I like them. They're fun to watch live. I've seen them quite a few times. Oh, another favorite band is All Time Low. I'm such trash for All Time Low. I love everything they put out. I've seen them in concert. I crowd surfed. It was amazing. I love them. Another band would be State Champs. Holy shit, State Champs. If you don't know who State Champs is, it's okay, because like nobody knows who State Champs is outside of like the pop punk scene, and you should totally listen to them because they're amazing, and like I love their music. The first time I saw them, I randomly went to a show with like one of my best friends, and we were in this like dinky little bar in like not the best part of Fort Worth, and there was like no gate or anything in front of the stage, so my ass literally hopped up on stage, and I kid you not, I was like this close from the lead singer of State Champs, and I tell one of my friends who's like super into State Champs about that all the time, and she hates me every single time, and I'm like, it was great though. I really like Cartel. I don't think they're really together anymore. I like Neck Deep. Recently gotten into them. I used to hate them, but now I really like them. Like, a part of me gets me in the feels every time. I really like One Direction. I used to be super into One Direction, and whenever some of their throwback songs come on, I am jamming so hard because I was so into them so long ago. Next question is, what are some film and TV recommendations? Personally, some of my favorite shows, Doctor Who, obviously. I'm a huge Whovian. I don't talk about it enough. Like, I got myself a screwdriver. This isn't the right one though. This is 12s, and I wanted 10s because David Tennant and 10 are like my faves. But I love Doctor Who. I've been watching it forever with my dad. It was like me and my dad's thing, so like I love Doctor Who. I'm such a nerd. I'm sorry. I also really like Charmed. Charmed is a show about these three witch sisters living in San Francisco. It aired in like late 90s, early 2000s. It's amazing. I love it. It's one of my favorite shows. I'm actually currently rewatching it because I can't have enough Charmed in my life. If you've watched Pretty Little Liars, it has Arya's mom in it. She's one of the main characters, and I love her. It's badass feminism, like three girls kicking butt and taking names. Like literally, Piper's husband is like their sidekick the entire time, and it's great. For movies, one of my favorite movies of all times is called Stuck in Love. It is not the best movie, but it has Logan Lerman in it, it has Lily Collins, and it has some other people, and the reason I really love it is because it's about writers, and it's kind of like this family dynamic. The parents are divorced, the mom's remarried, the dad's still obsessed with the mom, the kids are off at college, or one kid's in high school, the other kid's off in college, and she's like completely sworn off love because she caught her mom cheating on her dad, and then she falls in love, and then the son, oh, it also has Nat Wolff from The Fault in Our Stars and Paper Towns. He plays the younger brother, and like him dealing with his crush, and there's like some other stuff. Like, it's so like it's not the best movie, but it's so good, and I love it so much. It used to be on Netflix, and then they took it off, and then everybody bitched, and they brought it back, and then they took it off again, and I'm so upset because I love that movie. Another movie I would definitely recommend is Barefoot. This I stumbled upon like a random win on Netflix with my friend one night. We were like, let's watch some like cute cheesy like romance movies or whatever and see what we like. Me and my friend stumbled upon this movie and we fell in love. It's basically about our main character, and he is a janitor at a psychiatric hospital, and his family like thinks he's off doing all these like great things. He has to go home for like a family, like I think it's his brother's wedding or something like that, and the girl is a patient from the mental hospital that like escapes and like starts following him. So he takes her along and pretends she's his girlfriend, and shit goes down, but it's like super cute and it's really good, and I need more people to watch this because it's a good movie. I actually need to rewatch this now that I actually own it. Another series recommendation, Parks and Rec. Even if you've watched it, like go back and rewatch it a millionth time because it's better each time. Like we're like my roommates and I are just kind of like picking episodes since we've already watched it and like watching our favorites, and it's just so great. Like, I love Parks and Rec. Ron's my fave, Leslie's my fave, Tom's my fave. They're all my faves. Like, watch Parks and Rec. TV recommendation, I mean, there's only one season on Netflix and they like canceled it after one season, and that's Freaks and Geeks, and it's got some people that I can't remember that are like super famous now in it, and I think it has one of the Franco brothers in it, and it's so good. It's only one season, so I think there's only like 18 episodes, and they're not very long, but it's so good, and it's like about high school and this girl like fitting in, and like it's just really good, and I really enjoyed it. And I'm like so sad they never like made a second season, because we follow the older sister in high school. I think she's like a junior or a senior, and then we follow her younger brother who's a freshman, and he's like a nerd, and like how their storylines like overlap. How could I forget this show? Brooklyn Nine-Nine is hilarious. It's a cop drama show, but it's a comedy, and it's got Andy Samberg from, I think he was on Saturday Night Live in it, and he's like the main detective, Jake Peralta, and just this cast of characters is so hilarious, and I recommend everybody watch it. I don't think it's on Netflix anymore. If it is, they don't have all the seasons, but I think they only have 3 seasons on Netflix, but I'm pretty sure Hulu has 5 seasons. I don't know if this is still on air anymore. I think it is, because there was a petition going around about making sure that it didn't get canceled. This show is hilarious. We follow the 9-9 Brooklyn precinct, and like you've got this super like anal detective who's so funny, and then you have like that super like lazy detective who's like still like 6 years old mentally, and you know,